Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, it is my honor and privilege and pleasure to bring more empowering information to you as an empowered individual when it comes to finding better wellness. Now, there's a lot of things that we can do in our life, where it comes to nutrition, whether it comes to exercise, just lifestyle, the things we put in and out of our home. And, it all makes a difference, folks. And it takes you making that decision to make that difference, make a difference. So today on Daily with Doc, I am super excited as we're going to be looking into your kitchen and things that you have available. And then if they're not available, we've got options for that as well. So are you ready? If you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them because they cared enough about you to share this program. So care enough about them to say thank you. They are your point of contact. So if you have any questions, chances are they will have answers best for you. Now, if you were not referred to anybody specific, you found us all on your own, you are welcome to give our call team a call, which is a team of certified holistic health coaches that have been trained by the amazing Dr. Joel Wallach, who is one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics. So Daily with Doc is based on his philosophy. We offer solutions that we have found to be the answers based on science and real life application, folks. So you can be book smart and not be street smart. Well, in this show, we offer both. So my name is Becca Dukes. As the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, it is my honor to be a resource for an amazing community as we're putting more information into your toolbox to make those decisions into what you can do when life throws you something that even the medical system can't even figure out. So today we have an amazing guest. I absolutely love her. She is a valuable member of my tech crew, but she does more than that. And I'm super excited that she agreed to be part of the tech crew and learn a lot of new things. Well, she's going to be sharing with us some things that have been going on, some herbal remedies that have been going on forever and ever and ever. So, Sheri Browning, she's a certified holistic health coach. She's a certified coach. She's a certified herbalist. She is also a passionate advocate for natural wellness and a dedicated teacher of all things natural, folks. She brings the wealth of knowledge rooted in both experience and tradition. She's the proud mother of 8, grandmother of 14, great-grandmother of 2, right?
4.
I'm waiting for a head nod. 4. I was wrong. 4. And as a fermented food expert and longtime natural health advocate, she returns with us and continues with our series where we're talking about old-time remedies in your spice rack, as she will be sharing some of those hidden jewels and gems that are already in your kitchen. So folks, help me welcome to the screen, Sheri. Sheri, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, Becca. Thank you for inviting me. I love being here. It's a wonderful group.
Well, you know, you have so much knowledge, and we learn more and more about that knowledge that you have in that beautiful head of yours, that I'm super excited that we're able to share it on this platform where we're reaching around the world. Now, you have experience teaching in classrooms and holding workshops on so many different things, whether it's fermented foods, whether it's kombucha, whether it's tinctures and other herbal remedies. You've done so much that I'm excited that we're able to share you with the world here.
Thank you. Thank you. My friends actually years ago kept trying to get me to get on YouTube and do stuff like this, but I never would because I didn't know how to do it. So now there's a platform and I get to share what I love, and that is health. I love health. I love health and wellness. I love herbs. I love anything that helps us get better and be strong and healthy.
Yes, as do I. So today, let's talk about some more of those things as we're continuing a series of our spice rack old time remedies.
Okay.
What remedies do you want to talk about today? Or what? They're not remedies because we don't know what they are.
They're just spices. Yeah, they're just spices that are part of our spice rack. And really, before I get into that, there were some questions that were asked last time that I'd like to answer before we get started.
Absolutely.
And the first thing, though, I must tell everyone, you must be well nutrified. You have to be. I can tell you for years and years and years of working with people, if you do not nourish your body, eliminate the bad foods, you can take all the herbs in the world and it just will not have the impact it can if you nutrify your body. So you always start with nutrition.
Well, and I want to add to that, Sheri, based on my own experience as an herbalist and helping in creating tinctures and herbal teas and formulas that have helped people. I couldn't help myself because I was so undernourished, not realizing it, thinking I was doing everything right.
Right. So was I before I met Doc. I mean, it's just been a big change. And I know exactly what you're saying. I did not have a lot of health issues that you had. I was reasonably healthy, but it has been such a game changer. I can see where that was needed so desperately. He's a brilliant man. what he's created and what he's done is absolutely brilliant. And I really appreciate that. But there are a few
As do,
questions, if you don't mind. I'm going to
yeah,
go
go
on with
ahead and let's
some
go
of
through
those.
those questions.
All right. One of the, I was asked questions about, do you have any favorite books for fermenting, or do you have any special places you go to buy herbs? Well, I do have some favorite books. For kombucha, this is my favorite. It's called The Big Book of Kombucha, and it's written by Hannah Crum and Alex Ligori. This is all you need. It has everything you can think of in it, how to make medicinal kombucha, everything, how to add herbs to kombucha. It's just phenomenal. When I taught my classes, I would always encourage my students to get this book, to continue what they were doing. And then for fermented food, which was our very first show, people may not know that. One of my absolute favorites is Donna Schwenk. She has several books on fermented foods, and she also has a YouTube channel, which is phenomenal. I just love this. You can see all these little tabs. I'm always going through there and picking up new recipes to do. I love Donna Schwenk. She's wonderful. And
Sheri,
as far as
Sheri, excuse me, Sheri,
yeah,
what was the name of the book again?
it is called Cultured Food for Life.
Okay, Cultured Food for Life. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for asking, Marilyn. I appreciate that. And Donna Schwenk. I know I move too fast sometimes. And then the other was where to buy herbs. Well, I can tell you, we're talking about herbs that should be in your spice rack or could be in your spice rack. So I don't bother to buy them online at a fancy herb store. I don't do that. I buy them right in my grocery store. You can get some good ones there. So you're going to look for herbs that are in glass bottles and that are fresh and organic. And there are two brands I really like. One is the Central Market Organics. If you research them, you'll find out why. They're fabulous. Here's bay leaves right here. You can get anything you want. And then another one that I really like is called Simply Organic. This is a really good one too. Those two, they'll have every herb you need to keep in your spice rack for medicinal use and for cooking. So there you go. So those are the questions I wanted to answer, because if you buy your spices and your herbs that you use for cooking online from an herb farm, you're going to pay a lot more money, and it just isn't necessary. The other thing is that you can also buy fresh organic herbs in the produce section of many grocery stores. You don't have to always buy the dried. You can buy the fresh. Things like parsley, basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, dill, chives, sage, cilantro, and of course, garlic, ginger, and turmeric are right in the produce section of your grocery store. So just go get those. They're fresh. You can use those. And that's what I do when I buy herbs for cooking that I also use medicinally. All right. Any questions on that, Becca?
No, I don't have any questions. I love those. Well, I use the Simply Organics. Absolutely. What was the first
Yeah.
one that you mentioned?
It's Central Market Organics. Central Market Organics. It's another good one. Those are
So
my
now,
two favorites.
so both of those have in their title organic or organics.
They do. And that's
Why would you
important.
look for that?
Yes. Central Market Organics is really good. And look them up. Look them up. Don't take my word for it. Go search them.
Why would organic be important?
Because I don't want a bunch of stuff put on them that are not, I don't want pesticides. I don't want to have pesticides sprayed on these impacting my body. Organic is better. I know there's the big debate. Oh, is it organic? Is it not organic? Does it really matter? Does it not? Well, personally, I think it does. That's my personal opinion. I've had people tell me they didn't think it made any difference, but I feel like it does. So that's what I look for. And if you read on their websites how they farm and how they source their herbs, it's very impressive. They're very good at the quality they take to make herbs for us. So I'm grateful for that. You can, of course, grow your own too. I mean, that's a given, right? Grow your own if you can.
Well, and I think that every opportunity that we have to reduce that toxic load on our bodies,
yes,
is a good step.
It certainly is, because we do live in a toxic soup, unfortunately, in our world anymore. Everything you can do to help that body be clean is very important. So I guess we ought to move forward and find out
Go
what we're
for
going to
it.
talk about today. Okay. So when you feel a bit under the weather, and we do from time to time, instead of always grabbing medicine from the medicine cabinet, and do they have those anymore? You remember those mirrored medicine cabinets they used to have? I don't know, maybe they do. Think about your kitchen pantry. You can find natural relief for everyday discomforts and illnesses right there in your spices. That's what they do. And they were used for thousands of years before pharmaceuticals came on the scene. That's what people used. The first one we're going to start with is anise. Anise is, it comes from the same botanical family as parsley, celery, and carrots. And for the medicinal part, it's the seed, always the seed in the anise. The seeds have kind of a licorice taste to them, so they're really pleasant to eat. The anise seed is an excellent expectorant. You remember what we talked about an expectorant, which means it helps your lungs clear out mucus, excess mucus, and phlegm. If you have a wet, productive cough, and we hope you do because that's good, anise seed can help move that congestion. You can take it in powder, put some in a water, drink it down, chug it down. You can make a tea from the seeds or a tincture. You know, for a lot of things, I wouldn't bother making a tincture for some of these herbs. I would just put them in water or make them a tea, or I'd just chew the seed by itself. It has a licorice taste, so it's a very pleasant tea to drink. Anise seeds also do something else that's really interesting. For nursing mothers, and this is human or animal, who need to increase milk production, anise seed is a very effective remedy for that. And it's a digestive aid. And that's no surprise because it's part of the parsley family. And we know parsley is good for digestion. The anise seed is great for digestive disorders. It has a calming effect on the gut and is beneficial for colic, gas pains, flatulence, and general indigestion. So, like many of the mint families, it's really good for digestion. The typical dose for most issues would be around 2 to 3 rounded teaspoons, and that should do the trick. You can chew the seeds, they're pleasant. You can make a tea. The method doesn't matter. Just get them into your body. That's something my mentor stressed over and over again. You don't have to make a bunch of fancy things from the herb or the spice. You just get it in your body. Your body will know what to do with it. So that's anise. Next is basil. We all know basil, don't we? It's in every kitchen. I'm certain it's in every kitchen. It's a member of the mint family. While it's a star in the kitchen, and we often cook with it, it offers a variety of medicinal benefits. The medicinal part is anything above the ground, the entire plant above the ground, but especially the leaves. And that's usually what we use. It's a digestive powerhouse. That's what we would call it. It's like other mints, basil is excellent at soothing nerves in the digestive tract. It's effective for colic, for gas pains, stomach aches, and general indigestion. And then remember last time we talked about fever? Well, basil, like oregano, is a diaphoretic, or like Albert would say, oregano. I think I love that pronunciation, Albert, because it sounds so distinct. But we'll go back to oregano. I'm American, that's what I say. Which means basil helps to break the fever more efficiently. This might sound complicated, but it simply means it helps your body do what it's naturally designed to do during a fever rather than trying to stop it. There's so much fever phobia today. We talked about that last time. So why is a fever actually good for you? I'm just going to basically review what we did last time about that. When you have a fever, your body turns up the heat, and that's actually a good thing. And here's why. It slows down germs. Most germs, like bacteria and viruses, prefer to grow at a certain temperature. When your body heats up, it makes it harder for them to multiply and spread. It boosts your immune system. Your body's defender cells, called your immune cells, work even better when it's a little warmer. A fever gives them a push, making them more active and better at finding and destroying those unwanted germs. It speeds up healing. The higher temperature also makes your body's processes work faster. This means your immune system can react quicker and get to work healing. This helps you get better quicker. So fever is really needed. It's the body's defense. Please don't interfere with it. Remember, fever is your friend, but there is one exception, and that is in a newborn. If a newborn ever has a fever, they need to see a doctor. That is not typical. So those newborns, watch them. They develop a fever. You need to see a doctor. So basil helps with colds and flus and general respiratory issues. It also acts as an expectorant. Remember, we said that word before, which means it helps clear mucus. And if you add a pinch of fresh ground black pepper, the basil works even better. Basil's a mild diuretic. What does that mean? Well, it can help your body get rid of extra water, which is good for flushing out your kidneys and your bladder. This can be very helpful if you have a bladder or kidney infection. And headaches, it's very effective for headaches when taken as a tea or tincture. Do the tea. Don't bother with a tincture. It's great for a sore throat. Oh my goodness. Yes, you want this around if you have a sore throat. Just like many mints, basil has properties that fight microbes and germs. When you use it, it helps calm down the swelling and extra wetness in your throat. This can make your throat feel less raw. It can help with the swelling in the throat and the irritation that you feel in the throat. It can also help to firm up the tissue in your throat, which can reduce itchiness and scratchiness you're feeling. Here's what you do. You simply make a basil tea. You make a basil tea. 1 or 2 teaspoons in a cup is plenty. You're going to want to gargle with it first and then swallow it. Basil tea is highly recommended for sore throats. So if you have a sore throat, when it develops, just go get some basil, make you some tea. It's also, if you use the fresh leaves, an excellent insect repellent. These fresh leaves, if you crush them and rub them together in your hand and just rub them on your skin, perfect for an insect repellent. You don't have to buy that fancy stuff at the store. I don't know what's in that stuff, but I do know what basil has. So those are fabulous ways to use basil. The next is going to be bay leaves. We're going to lightly touch on bay leaves. I love bay leaves, and they have a very long traditional history. Bay leaves primarily come from the bay laurel tree, scientifically known as the Laurus nobilis. That's the name of it. The leaves themselves are the medicinal part. And what does it help with? Well, here we go. Digestive benefits. Adding bay leaves to soups and other dishes doesn't just enhance the flavor. It also helps prevent indigestion, pain, and stomach aches. That's amazing, isn't it? You just put them in, you thought you were putting them in there for flavor. It's good as a spice, but don't eat too much of it because it's very powerful. Even in small amounts used for flavor in soups and other dishes, you'll get the medicinal benefits from it. Important, though, is to know this. Make sure you're using a true Laurus nobilis bay leaves. Other plants can be called a bay leaf, but may not have the same properties and could even be toxic. So make sure you're getting the right kind. You can use bay leaves topically. This is where they do really well. Bay leaves help with breathing problems like bronchitis. You just apply them to the chest as a poultice. This is what they used to do. We can still do that. It's great for joint pain because it calms nerves and reduces inflammation. For a poultice, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to take a handful of the dried bay leaves. You're going to soak them in water that you've just boiled because you want the water to be very hot. They'll rehydrate. It may take an hour or so, but that's what you're going to do. Just soak it in that hot water. After an hour or so, you can take them out, take these rehydrated leaves, put them in a soft cloth, and then wrap it up and place that cloth on whatever body part you're trying to help, whether it be the lungs for bronchitis or joints. You can leave it on as long as you want, including overnight. It really does help. The next kind of star in your spice rack is going to be black pepper. It's often overlooked as a medicinal herb. Black pepper is a powerful medicine that goes far beyond a spice rack. But you want to use the whole peppercorns like this. Because once the peppercorns are ground, they oxidate very rapidly. So don't waste your time medicinally using the pre-ground pepper. You can use it on your food if you want, but it oxidizes quickly and reduces its medicinal potency a lot. And I mean a lot. You can use a pepper grinder, or you can use a mortar and pestle if you want for the little peppercorns right here. Pepper is an overall body tonic. It stimulates and energizes all your organs and tissues. It's an immune booster. It helps fight off infections and can even ward off illnesses when taken at the very first sign of a symptom. You maybe don't have some of the other herbs, but you have black pepper. For a daily tonic, here's what you can do. Take about 1/8 of a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper and mix with a little honey. And you'll do that 2 or 3 times a day as a tonic. If you're feeling unwell, you would increase that to 3 or 4 times a day to help you overcome whatever is trying to take over your system. But here is my absolute favorite herb or spice. If I could only have one, this is what it would be, and that is cayenne pepper. It is so famous for what it does that books are written about it. It doesn't matter. Just look up cayenne pepper. I can't say the word C-U-R-E so I can't tell you the title. But anyhow, cayenne pepper, it's so good. They have so many books written about it. I always carry a small bottle of cayenne pepper in my purse because it is an emergency herb. And I'll explain what I mean by that. It's considered a plant lifesaver. So you use the whole pepper, including the seed, for medicine. The seeds contain most of the heat, and the heat is the medicine. When you cook with cayenne, we often remove the seeds because it can become too hot to eat. But when you're making medicine, you must leave them in. Those seeds and that heat are the medicine. So what does cayenne help with? The list is huge. It's considered a digestive dynamo. It increases saliva and digestive enzyme production, leading to better food processing and absorption. Historically, cayenne has been used by indigenous cultures for a wide range of digestive disorders, such as indigestion, belly aches, diarrhea, even, and I know this is controversial, even stomach ulcers. I know, you'll get on the internet and they'll tell you, no, you can't do it. But here's how it helps. It decreases the inflammation in the gut lining. It increases mucus production, which protects the stomach. It helps heal ulcers by patching the protective mucus layer. So it's kind of a myth that needs busting. Contrary to old advice, peppers do not harm ulcers or the stomach lining. Just the opposite has been found to be true. They're a great pain reliever. Cayenne has remarkable pain relieving effects. It can even be effective for some migraines in people. It also increases circulation throughout the body, stimulating and energizing all your organs and tissues. Cayenne contains capsaicin. It's a compound that temporarily numbs nerves, which helps reduce pain. That's why rubbing cayenne lotion or tincture on sore joints and arthritis can be very effective. Cayenne is good for wounds because it pulls out impurities and pus. It has a drawing effect on a wound, and it's fantastic for bleeding. You can sprinkle dried powdered pepper directly on a cut or a wound that's bleeding. It might zing at first, but the capsaicin in the pepper will quickly relieve the pain and stop the bleeding. I had a friend whose husband cut his finger really bad, and it just kept bleeding. She said, go put some cayenne pepper on there. She and I were fellow students at herb school, and he did. First, he didn't want to do it because he thought, no, this is going to hurt too much. But it wasn't that bad. There was an initial zing or burning, but then almost immediately the capsaicin set in and it numbed it and it stopped the bleeding. He was quite impressed. Internally, cayenne can even stop internal bleeding when administered orally. Yeah. And for blood pressure and circulatory health, it regulates blood pressure and boosts circulation, supporting a healthy cardiovascular system. Cayenne makes blood vessels more elastic. If you have high blood pressure, vessels can stretch to compensate. If you have low blood pressure, they contract to compensate. It's excellent for overall circulatory health, including your heart, your veins, your arteries, and regular small doses can be very, very beneficial if you're having some circulatory issues. It's an expectorant, doesn't surprise us, does it? Helping to clear mucus from the lungs. It quickly clears congested sinuses. Someone asked me, I think last week, about sinuses. Well, here you are. It alleviates sinus infections and headaches. A small amount can immediately drain sinus congestion. Another good one is horseradish root. Whoa, that'll get those draining really fast. It is considered a crisis herb for emergency situations. That's why I carry it in my purse. Cayenne is truly a premier crisis herb and can be a lifesaver in emergency situations. Shock. It helps rapidly reverse symptoms of shock, like in accident victims. Heart attack. It can rapidly can be administered to support heart function in acute situations. Then, of course, you get them to the hospital. But in the meantime, it can help open everything up so they get good blood flow back to the heart. Doc Jones, who is my mentor, is a veterinarian, personally witnessed dramatic recoveries in his veterinary practice. He said he'd have animals who'd been hit by a car and they would come in deep shock, severe shock, and a small amount, he would just squirt a small amount in their oral cavity, and they immediately, their vital signs would start coming back. Their gums would get pinker, their eyes would get brighter, and they had better respiration. It's just that powerful. It's the same thing for C-section puppies. He said because the puppies get the same anesthesia that the mother gets, they come out asleep. And so just one drop can stir them. I know you've probably seen these vet shows where they have these puppies and they're rubbing them and they're rubbing them. And I've watched them too. And I just want to reach through that TV and say, here, take this cayenne pepper, just put one drop in their mouth, they'll be fine. It worked over and over and over again because that one drop will wake them up. Cayenne pepper is a versatile and powerful natural remedy with benefits for gut health and ulcers, pain relief, both topical and internal, wound healing and drawing the poisons out of that wound, bleeding control, blood pressure regulation, respiratory support, and is an emergency crisis aid. Think heart attack, shock, C-section puppies maybe. So as a general tonic, and you can take it as a general tonic, just like you can the black pepper. I prefer this. You just get a 1/4 teaspoon, take that 2 or 3 times a day in a little shot of water and chug it down. It acts as a wonderful tonic, improving your circulation, digestion, and overall body function. Remember, the heat from the cayenne pepper is essential for it to work as medicine. And whether you're using it for shock or to clear your lungs or to open up your sinuses, you need to feel the heat to get the results because the heat is the medicine. So forget about having, and I want you to think about this for a minute. We've covered today, now we've covered 16 different spices from your spice drawer, but you don't need all those. You just need a few that you get to know really well. Just think about some that we've talked about. And if you weren't on the other shows, you can go back and watch them May 29th, June 8th, to get an idea of what those herbs are. And just learn a few. Spend some time with them, work with them, have them on hand. They all do a lot of the same things, don't they? The digestive health, the respiratory health. So find one that works really well for you and have it on hand. Get to know it. And then when an acute situation happens, then you can go pull it out of your spice rack and start using it. It's really, really fun to be able to be self-sufficient and not have to run to the doctor or the pharmacy for every little thing. And I think that's about what I have today for us, Becca. If we want to move into, oh, I think Ruth Ellen has a question. Go ahead, Ruth Ellen.
Hello, great talk, Sheri. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's amazing.
It's a lot of information.
It is. I love all the things you can do with cayenne pepper that are healing and helpful to the body. So I have a couple questions came in, and one of them is, what form of cayenne do you carry in your purse?
Okay, it's a liquid, it's a tincture. That's one I always continue to tincture. I have a bigger bottle over here. When I taught my classes, I used to make the tinctures to sell. I don't have time to do the classes anymore. I am so busy now, but it's a tincture. It's
Okay.
just easy. And
So it's something you made yourself?
yes. But you can buy it. I mean, you can buy cayenne tincture at places that sells herbs, but it's so easy to make. It's a 1-to-5 ratio. I have it memorized how I do it by weight. Like if I do 1 gram of the powder, I'll use 5 grams of the vodka. And you want a really good, clean vodka that's organic, because that's your menstruum is that alcohol, the vodka that preserves it. It actually extracts everything from the cayenne. Easy to make. You can buy it made if you don't want to mess with it, but it's easy to make.
Very cool. All right, and then so that answered the next question.
Okay.
And then herbs like basil have different varieties. Does it make a big difference which one?
No, I think Tulsi was supposed to be probably the most popular, Tulsi basil. And that's the one I grow in my garden.
Mhm.
But no, I don't really think so. Just whatever, get it in you. Yeah. Organic is best. Growing it's best.
Mhm.
No, I don't think it really makes that much difference.
And Sheri, what would you add to your garden to make your plants more nutrified and grow stronger and better and more resistant to pesticides naturally because they're strong?
The Bloomin' Minerals they sell at Longevity. Let me tell you, my husband put that in the garden. The first year he put that in the garden, and we had a class on gardening, and he actually helped teach that, and I was so grateful to him. But he put the Bloomin' Minerals in that year, and the difference was incredible. Longevity sells it. It is just wonderful. We didn't have hardly any pests, and I did some research and found out that pests really go after unhealthy plants. These insects don't have a pancreas, and so they have to eat unhealthy plants. They don't eat the healthy plants because they can't digest them well. So if you have a lot of pests in your garden, you really probably need to add minerals and get a much healthier garden going.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
All right. So yes, now this isn't an herb that we have covered yet, but it may
Okay.
be one to get to in regards to nutmeg. So
Oh, yeah.
Harry is, and I think you know what's common. So Harry is asking, with nutmeg, there are people that like get a high off of it.
Okay.
Well, I know nutmeg in very large quantities is toxic.
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't want to do anything in a really large quantity. And so there are other things you can use in place of nutmeg. I haven't really had that issue come up. I can't remember using nutmeg a lot. I'll have to look that one up and research it. The ones I've gone through so far, plus some more that for another presentation, are the ones I use all the time. So I haven't really used nutmeg medicinally. I'm sorry, Harry.
Well, it's okay. So I have done some research. I've had a little bit of experience. In fact, my youngest son had seen a short on nutmeg and said, "Mom, don't use that. Don't use that. It's toxic." And so then I did some more research on it. But yeah, if you're in nutmeg in itself has some healthy medicinal benefits. But when you're ingesting large quantities, you could have symptoms like hallucination, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, confusion, dry mouth, increased heart rate, and even like super large amounts. And I'm talking a cup of nutmeg.
I
Just
can't imagine.
would not
Even trying
ground.
to take a cup of nutmeg, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even if it's the dead stuff that's been ground and not freshly ground, that's a lot to be able to take. That taste wise, it would not even come close to being inviting.
Right, right. Well, we've sprinkled nutmeg or put a little bit in something that enhances the flavor because
Yeah.
it's a very pleasant taste. But if you're using large quantities like that, your body is going to tell you, no, thank you. It is going to tell you, no, thank you. And so
Yeah.
I've never had to deal with it. And I mean, you just have to use common sense, don't you? You don't take things in large quantities. You just don't.
Yeah, you
Not
definitely
large.
want to use common sense. And in the case of nutmeg, if you get a severe toxicity, I mean, it could lead to seizures, coma, and worse.
That's
So
scary.
folks just don't do it.
Yeah, just be
It's
smart.
not,
A
yeah.
little bit, that's fine. Yeah, I can't imagine a teaspoon or so hurting you, but large quantities, no, it's not necessary.
Well, and I would rather be high on life and nutrition than have
Yeah,
some type of like hallucination type
yeah,
euphoria. Personally,
right. Me too. There's a lot to do in life and a lot of fun things to learn. So who has time for all that other?
nah, I don't. I
You,
don't.
no, no.
So, um, I think we've got some more questions that are coming in. Oh, and then cloves. Cloves is another one that Harry mentioned. Which
Cloves is one
I have,
we're gonna cover cloves in the future one.
okay,
We are gonna cover.
fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So let me go through real quick and let's see what other questions we had coming in. So we've got several different methods here that we share. So somebody had mentioned using an air fryer for drying fresh herbs.
Hmm. I've never done that. I have a
Personally, you don't want
dehydrator.
to use, yeah, you don't want to use high heat. A
No,
dehydrator does not use high heat.
yeah. No, it doesn't. And you can adjust the heat to what you want. And you don't want to go over a certain degree because you want a warm heat, but not a high heat, because then you start to bake the item. You just don't want to do that. So I personally wouldn't think that a air fryer would be a good idea unless it had a feature as a dehydrator. I've heard that some do. I don't know. But, or you can leave them to air dry. You don't have to have them in any heat. I've air dried them. If I'm busy, or my dehydrator is doing something else, I just lay them out and let the herbs dry by themselves. That works too. You don't have to do anything fancy or special.
Do you lay them out just like on a paper towel or on like
Mhm.
one of
Yeah,
those racks for cakes and cookies?
you could do it that way too. You would like to get a good airflow, but you can flip them over too. So it just depends on what's working for you. Just don't overcomplicate life. We tend to do that, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
And it seems like the more knowledge we have, the more complicated we make things.
we can.
When it really, health is simple, as pharmacist Ben puts it.
It is. It is. And listen to your body. I said that last time. Listen to your body. It's talking to
Absolutely.
you. Mhm.
So we have another question that says, for someone who is new to this and maybe a bit skeptical, what is a single most effective spice remedy that has strong scientific backing? And what is the safest way for them to start incorporating that into their life for noticeable benefits?
Well, you can always look up cayenne pepper. That probably has a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of research on that. I don't know. I haven't bothered with looking up the research. I took a course that required a lot of work, and that was scientific enough for me. I don't, I don't always trust scientific studies. I know I'm a skeptic, but I've found some are really good and some are not. Some are, you just really have to look carefully at them and decide just how authentic it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. But your own experience will speak volumes to you. It's like my
Oh, well,
friend's husband. Yeah.
and a tea, taking herbs,
Yeah.
soaking it in or infusing some hot water.
Right.
That's a great way to start.
Oh, it certainly is. I would start there, definitely. It depends on what issue you're trying to deal with, but I would start there and just work my way up.
Mhm.
What you're working your way up to, I don't know, but just try it.
Well, and you had mentioned oregano and basil for digestion.
Yes,
Just
yes,
making a
yes.
tea for
Right.
those.
That's right.
Adding or even adding fresh basil in your soups or on top
Yeah.
of your salads or in your sandwich that of course is gluten-free bread, right?
Of course it is. Yeah, you can, it doesn't matter how you get it in, you just get it in you. And when you see
Yes,
the results, that will be what will change and make you a believer instead of a skeptic. You just got to try it. Don't be afraid.
absolutely.
It's so funny because people aren't afraid to take pharmaceuticals or things over the counter. And yet, if they could look up the side effects of some of these drugs, it would just be shocking because we've done it for so many generations now. It seems normal. But if you started using some of God's pharmacy, which is what I call God's pharmacy, and that's the herbs and spices, and saw that they work just as good, if not better sometimes, without those side effects, you would
Mhm.
just be amazed. That makes a believer out of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Sheri, what do you think is the most overlooked spice?
Overlooked as far as medicinally, probably
Yes. Yes.
probably cayenne is one because people just think of that as hot, spicy, and they don't get near it. But if you ever learn how to use it, learn what it's used for, then it's like I was not a big cayenne person until I learned about it and started making
Yeah.
tinctures and saw what it does. Gosh, I think that one is probably the one that's most overlooked because we all kind of know about the basil and we know about some of the other stuff, the thyme and the rosemary, but I
Ginger.
think, yeah, ginger, turmeric, I mean, those are pretty common. But yeah, I would say it's the cayenne.
Now, you had mentioned your tonic that you do with cayenne.
Yeah,
Did
super
you
tonic, I
say
call it.
half a teaspoon and chase it with water?
Let
Or
me
you
look
mix
back
it
on that.
together?
Let me see what I said on that because there are a couple of them that were different. It is the cayenne for the tonic is a quarter teaspoon, taken 2 to 3 times a day. That's for the
Okay.
tonic. Yeah. Quarter
Okay.
teaspoon is, yeah, just a small amount. You can do less. I mean, it really is there's no magic. You just do what you tolerate and like. Just mix of something, chug it down. I like the tincture because you can just take that. Sometimes I put that in water too because it can be overpowering. I It can be till you get used to it. But I have a friend, I have to tell you, because I used to sell this stuff to my students, and I had a friend who bought a bottle and then went on a trip to visit her grandkids. And while she was there, the grandkids were all getting sick. The family was getting sick. They were dropping like flies. According to her, this is how she described it. But she was taking her cayenne pepper tincture 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, like a dropper full at a time. She never got sick, even though they were
Mm.
dropping like flies around her. When she came back, she came over and said, I've got to buy another bottle. I love this stuff. And she said, it saved me on my trip. It is true. Well, if I start to get a scratchy throat, I'll go grab some. It's just that simple.
Now, with a tincture,
Mhm.
you're taking the herb, whether do you use fresh or dried for your cayenne?
I use powdered and I use the
Powder?
dried herb and then I powder it. And this is
Okay.
what I make the tincture with.
And you're putting that in alcohol, and there's specific ratios, folks. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I used I've got it over there and it's too far to see. But a book by Rosemary Gladstone.
Yeah,
And
I
it
know her.
went
I've got
through
her stuff too. Yeah.
stuff. And then there's another one, a Dr. T. I'm so bad at remembering book names and
So
authors.
many. There's so
But
many
there's
out
so
there.
many
Michael
great
Moore is another one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are books, folks. You can refer to books to get
Yeah.
that information. This program is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. So we're just giving you information to put into your toolbox that you can use as an empowered individual. You don't have to have a prescription for it. You don't have to have somebody, just in a white coat tell you what to and not to take when you're using food as medicine.
That's true. I do have to point out, if you are on a lot of pharmaceuticals, you will want to be careful about the herbs that you take.
Mhm.
Now, most of these herbs that are spices, not so much if you use them in a reasonable amount, but there are herbs that can really react with pharmaceuticals in the body. So you do need, if you're on a lot of pharmaceuticals and you're going to take herbs for medicinal reasons other than these spices, then you probably ought to work with somebody who knows what reaction those pharmaceuticals and those herbs will have together. That is
Okay.
important.
So just AJ, sorry, thank you
Oh,
for
there you
that
are, AJ.
hand.
Okay, Sheri. So, you know how we kind of have like our good herbs line?
Yes, I
Okay.
love that line.
And you know how they will put A with B and it becomes a particular product that's designed to do a certain thing. So when I saw your jar of dried cayenne, it's kind of making me think, okay, number one, how much cayenne would make that big jar? Number one.
A lot. I can make a lot of tincture.
Like a big bushel? Like how much is a lot?
Well, what I do is I do it by weight. So I'll do, like, if I did 1 gram of the herbs and I measure it, I would do 5 grams of the vodka. So just think of it that way. I work in grams because I use this little scale that I measure things out with. So
Okay.
1 to 5 is the ratio.
Okay, but you're talking about the processing of it to make it usable. And
Yeah,
I'm
to make it a
just
tincture.
referring to how many cayenne peppers would make that jar?
Oh, I don't know.
Is
That's
that
a
like
good question.
200 cayenne peppers?
I don't know. I grew them in the garden and then I dried them and then I powdered them in my blender. This is what I ended up with. And I want to also specify that it's just not the red long cayenne that you use. Any high heat pepper works, like habaneros. And there are so many really high heat peppers, anything with a really high heat. And I mix them. So that's cayenne pepper, but it probably has some habanero in there as well. I don't know how many that would take, but you can
About.
about
You think that'd be
maybe,
about 50?
yeah, maybe.
Okay, so then go ahead.
Oh, well, they're so easy to grow. It's one of the easiest plants to grow. You throw it in the ground and it just grows. And it starts, I don't know what about, at least I found it to be one of the easiest plants to grow. And it produces and produces and produces. It gives a lot.
Okay, so then my next question is,
Yeah.
if you were to want to have herbs in your home,
Mhm.
how many different herbs, I mean, would you suggest somebody have? Are there 50 different herbs that we may want to have? Or is it 20 main
And
ones? I mean, what's an approximation that somebody who wants to be serious about utilizing herbs, what's kind of a number?
I would say 10. If you could plant and harvest and learn about 10 herbs, that's really all you need, because those herbs will be what you need. It's really that simple. About 10. And you want to learn about them, you want to use them, you want to study them, you want to just get to know them, and then how they affect your body. And once you know those 10 herbs, that's probably all you'll ever use.
Well, it's a journey.
It is a journey. It is, yeah. Start slow, work your way up, have fun. The big thing is have fun.
Absolutely, absolutely have fun. And so, Sheri, can you share with us your favorite book again?
Which one?
And well, and because it is the name of a book,
yeah,
we can say the name of the book. Cayenne Curve. Cheers.
Curing with Cayenne is a good one. I have another one too that's bigger, and it's also kind of the same thing. This is really good. It's very interesting.
And
it's written
the author?
by Sam Biser. Sam Biser.
Is that
really like this book. Biser.
All right.
Be like in boy, Iser. Here's his picture. So it's really, really a good book. You can learn a whole lot in here. Excellent book.
And
So,
Sheri,
yeah,
if somebody's not into making herbs or making their own tinctures, what is your recommendation?
Good herbs are excellent. They have an olive leaf tincture that is superb. I would get that and keep that in my house all the time. I have 3 bottles of the olive leaf tincture from Good Herbs. I keep it here because it's good for so many things. I would get that. That's the main one.
So that's the Super Olive Health tincture.
It is. It's called Super Olive Health Tincture, and it is fantastic. They also have I think it's a hypothalamus one that has the great herbs for your hypothalamus. That's another super one. I would have that on hand. They have an adrenal formula that is wonderful for the adrenals, because we can really stress our adrenals. That's another wonderful one. So yeah, Good Herbs is an excellent line. I love their line.
And folks, you can find the Good Herbs line by going to dailywithdoc.com. Look under the shop, and you will see a category just for the Good Herbs. So that is the Good Herbs line of products that's offered by Longevity that you can find at dailywithdoc.com or Sheri that's SHERI dailywithdoc.com.
That's right. And there's one thing about the Good Herbs I wanted to mention. What was it I was going to mention? No, the Good Herbs has a circulatory formula as well that is super good for the heart and the brain. I would have that on hand all the time. If you don't want to mess with making your own, because it has stuff in it. If you don't want to mess with making your own, get those and keep them on hand. They're just so good for you.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Let's go over to Ruth Ellen. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. I'm loving this, Sheri, just so you know.
I'm so glad.
We have Tweety33 on Rumble. Hello, Tweety33. Thanks for joining us today. She wants to know, or Tweety, I shouldn't say she or he, but is wondering if you use the powder capsules as well, because they usually carried them in their car.
Oh.
The cayenne, I should have specified.
The cayenne and powder, yeah. It depends on what you're taking it for. If you're taking it for blood pressure, the capsules would work okay. But if you're taking it for other things, then you're not getting the heat. Your body has to experience the heat in the mouth and throughout. So I would, it depends on what you're using them for. Blood pressure, okay. Otherwise, it should be where you're experiencing that heat in the mouth and through the body.
Okay.
You won't do that if you bypass the mouth through capsules.
So what does the stimulate in the mouth that like
everything?
Everything.
It just stimulates everything. I don't know exactly what the science is behind it, But that's just, I don't know, but that's what I was taught when I was in school. You've just got to experience the heat.
Okay.
And yeah, when I was going through all my notes, which is what a lot of this is coming from school notes, he said, if you take it in capsule form, it's okay. If you're doing it for something other than for bleeding or for internal bleeding, all that stuff, you really do need to have it in the mouth.
Okay. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
You're welcome.
All right. Now, if we could get the co-host up on the screen, we are out of time. Thank you so much, Sheri, for
welcome.
another amazing spice rack remedies in your kitchen, old time remedies on this from your spice rack. It has been just a joy to be able to learn more about what people have in their kitchen that they can use to help them benefit them health wise. Can't talk today. But like you said in the beginning, herbs don't take the place of the 90 essential nutrients and the nourishment that your body needs. So thank you very much for pointing that out. I completely agree with that. Today on our team, we have with us, of course, Sheri, who was our special guest today, who is also part of the tech crew. She has multiple certifications that she has gone through, as you can see on the back of her wall there, and not just going through the motion and taking the tests. She actually has put it into practice, as she is a health coach and has been for many, many years. So thank you, Sheri, for being here. We have Ruth Ellen, my executive production manager, who's keeping everything going smooth. And if my internet goes out, she's ready to take over. So thank you so much, Ruth Ellen, for all that you do. And for those of you who are out on any of the different platforms watching current live or a replay, it is because of her that we have those graphics on what you are watching. So thank you, Ruth Ellen. And we also have Rod, who is also a certified holistic health coach. He is keeping an eye on everything, bringing in questions, making comments out on the different social media platforms. So thank you, Rod, for all that you do. And we have Albert joining us from South Africa, who is letting people in. So if you're in our Zoom room, it's because he opened the door and let you in. And if you would like to join us, we are here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern. And in Africa, I think right now it's 9 to 10 p.m. So check your time zone, say, Siri, or hey, Google, what time is it in my time zone at 12 p.m. Pacific? And they will respond with an answer, and mine might be answering here shortly. So thank you so much, Albert, for all that you do. And if you're here live with us, you are seeing the great talent of Ms. Marilyn as she is doing dictation and putting it into the chat here in the Zoom. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for using your skills and putting that to use to help our in-person viewers take better notes, because you do a fantastic job. And last but not least, we have AJ, who has been very instrumental in helping us get on multiple different platforms, improving our online appearance, including landing pages and websites to help you find the information you're looking for to meet your needs. So thank you so much, everybody. Oh, in Africa, sorry, Johannesburg area, we are live from 9 to 10 p.m. And I think is that BST? I don't remember. But anyways, folks, we are here. Say that?
SAST.
SAST. All right. So instead of EST or PST, you've got it. Check us out online, dailywithdoc.com. Again, if you were referred to this program by somebody specific, get back with them as they cared enough to share this information with you. They are your point of contact and the person you need to get back to and say, thank you. What can I do to create a better health journey for myself or my family? Because folks, as we work on ourselves and our families, and then together we work in our communities, we will make a healthier world. And there is a way that you can share this information and get a thank you check as just a thank you. I mean, you refer products all the time. Why not get thanked for it? Get back with the person that shared this program with you. If you're interested in more information and they don't have it, you can go to coach.dailywithdoc.com. That'll give you information about the Certified Holistic Health Coach course that is available through the Institute of Holistic Health. Or if you're not interested in the coaching program, but you're still interested in sharing and being part of the team and share with others, email us, info@dailywithdoc.com, and ask for more information on how you too can get thank you checks through our business opportunity. Again, my name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc and Becca. We will see you tomorrow with Pharmacist Ben as he is taking more questions and giving answers to help you become more of your own health authority and taking your life and your health and your wellness into your own hands from a pharmacist's view. Until next time, bye for now. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.